Well, friends, Curtis Robinson with ConwayToe2Toe and Toe2Toe Firearms and Training. We are a self-defense training company specializing in kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and training people in self-defense, including firearms. Today, I'm going to talk just briefly about the endless benefits. And when I say endless, we can get something out of martial arts daily. From the beginning of our ability to walk, we can really start doing something, right up until our final days when we are less capable. And here are some of the things that I want to tell people. We start training people as early as 4 years old, but of course, great martial artists, including Bruce Lee, started training his children as soon as they were really able to walk and kind of move around. I remember grabbing my infant children and using their legs in a kicking motion and chasing my wife around as if the baby was flying through the air doing, great kung fu moves. It was a fun little game. The baby loved it. My wife and I loved it. But when you kind of think about it, starting that early, getting the child's body ready to make the movement is something we can do very early. Plus, me running around with a child in my hands is just good exercise. All right. That's the earliest memory that I have for little children really benefiting. It's time spent with dad or time spent with mom, family time. You can't beat that. It's wonderful. I've had people that were really, really, really just about bedridden who've asked me, Curtis, what can I do? I start them with some simple breathing exercises. One of my instructors, Jennifer Bannon, teaches Tai Chi, and Tai Chi is particularly good at helping us with vitality. We move slowly, we breathe deeply. There's some flexibility involved. It really is important as we get older that we don't fall. I know a lot of older folks are really concerned. I'm afraid I'll fall. I actually teach older people how to fall, and they're like, oh my God, you're gonna go in class and learn how to fall? I don't want to fall. I don't ever want to fall. Well, guess what? We all fall. From the time that we're first starting to walk, babies fall. And you know what? They're okay because they learn quickly how to fall. They usually plop down on their butt. They usually kind of arch the back and rock. They rarely bump their head very hard. If at all, it's just kind of a natural thing. I teach people to make a natural movement if we stumble, if we fall. But more importantly than what we intuitively know, I teach people how to strengthen certain muscles so that if they stumble and go forward, the quadricep is strong enough to catch them. I could go into all kinds of things again through the range of older people, younger people, people in their middle ages, people that are getting stiff and they're a little stoved up from so many years of work. There's something for everyone. Let's talk specifically about jiu-jitsu for 1 minute. Jiu-jitsu itself is a resistance training. It is a pushing and pulling activity with another human being such that you are going to move the body in a whole body fashion, which is to say, we're not isolating the bicep like a curl. We're not isolating the hamstrings in a leg curl or the quadriceps in a leg extension like you would do on a machine. The whole body is moving as it should naturally. And I tell you, I didn't lift weights most of my early life. I just didn't lift weights. It's only really in the last couple of years that I've started lifting weights seriously. And before lifting weights seriously, I did kettlebell, which is again a strength training exercise. But really, that's been the last 5 or so years. Prior to that, I really didn't lift weights. What I did was a lot of martial arts, and I was fit, I was capable, strong, and jiu-jitsu really helps with that resistance training. Again, it's a lot of pushing, it's a lot of pulling. You're going to use the glutes and the quads when you make throws. You're going to use the biceps, the triceps when you're pushing and pulling someone in the guard. You're going to use the adductor and abductor muscles, right, when you're rolling people off of you. Obviously, the lower back, the trapezius muscles, the lat muscles, very important, again, for these pulling motions. You get good at fighting from your back. You get good at getting on top, right? And controlling your weight, your base is extremely important physically to do these things in some way. Now, Can you do it throwing bales of hay? I did that as a younger man. I threw lots of bales of hay on the farm. Can you do it splitting wood? Yes, you can. I split a lot of wood. Can you do other things in a physical kind of employment, a vocation where you're very physically active? These linemen are climbing up ladders and poles at all times, and there's a variety of people. You look at firemen. Firemen are running back and forth, carrying these heavy hoses. I mean, they train that way as well. There's a training piece. People don't just say, "Oh, one day I'll be a fireman." You have to go through training. The military, I was in the military 20 years, and a lot of physical fitness. You can kind of get fit by being in the right vocation, but most of us don't. Most of us, even in the military at some point, sit behind a desk, run a mouse, type a whole lot, right? All of these work from home jobs, probably not working very hard physically. You might be exercising your brain. I served in logistics for a long time. I know what it's like to work in a computer or work, behind the desk. Let's talk a minute about kickboxing. A lot of people complain that running is boring. Curtis, I don't want to run. I know it's good for me. I want to get my cardio up. I'm like, well, you can run, you can bike, or you can swim. Well, I hate doing those things when it's cold. Okay. Guess what you can do in the summertime, in the wintertime, in the daytime, in the nighttime? You can hit a heavy bag. I'm going to tell you what. You do 3-minute rounds on a heavy bag, you will be exhausted and covered in sweat. You don't even have to hit it that hard or even that fast, and you can get a nice, moderate workout and break a good sweat. It's really up to you. So friends, I'll tell you that if you are involved in martial arts, you're going to get a mental spike of serotonin and dopamine. You're going to build friendships with these people. I've got friends that I've known in the martial arts since I was a teenager. We still associate, we still call, we still meet on Facebook, we still meet in person for seminars and training. When it comes to what are you doing as a family, when I'm at home, my one daughter goes downstairs and hides, and my other son goes into the computer room and he hides, and my wife is on the bed, usually on her phone, and I'm sitting in the bedroom, in my chair, maybe playing a video game. We're kind of present, but not really doing anything together. Well, every Monday and Tuesday, my family gets together and does kickboxing. Every Tuesday and Friday, my family gets together and does jiu-jitsu. Typically Wednesdays, my wife and I are doing stick and knife fighting, which is a lot of fun. And then on Monday and Friday, in the off season, because my kids are on the wrestling team, I help them with wrestling. And then we're talking about these things. Whatever happened? How'd you do? Did you make the throw? And I saw you kick that guy. It was really good. I saw you defend against the spin kick. And how'd you do against the bigger guy? How'd you do against the faster guy? These are the war stories that, the things that in our hunter-gatherer days, people used to sit around the campfire and talk about, hunting the bison if you were a Native American, or maybe if you're an ancient man, caveman, Neanderthal, they sat around and talked about hunting woolly mammoths, I suspect. But we build community, we build the family by telling our stories. You can't do that when everybody's in a different room playing on an electronic device. And don't get me wrong, I spend several hours, really a day probably, playing some sort of video game or being on social media or something. It's just part of who we are now. I just want you guys to think about it and ask yourself, look yourself in the mirror even. Say, hey, you in the mirror, what are you doing for your own physical fitness? Could you be more flexible? Could you be stronger? Could you be faster? Could you have an increase in endurance? Could you look better? These are all things that I can help you do. Really, any martial arts instructor worth his salt can help you do. And it's an activity, it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's an event you want to go to. It's not like, oh man, I got to go put on all my cold weather gear because it's, it's 30 degrees outside today. It's 30 degrees. I got to go for this run. For those who love running, God bless you, keep doing that. In the wintertime, after about 40 degrees, I really don't like to run much unless I'm on a treadmill. But you can come in, you can work with me inside. We keep it about 68 degrees. It's cool enough so we don't sweat to death. It's warm enough so we're not chilly. And we're going to do kickboxing, we're going to do jiu-jitsu, we're going to do tai chi. We've got stick and knife fighting. And by the way, There's a lot of other activities that we do here that aren't necessarily as good for your physical body, but are great for hand-eye coordination and reaction speed. So in particular, we've got a firearm simulator. Draw and shoot drills activate the limbic system. This is our fight or flight system. So you guys could come in and spend an hour on the simulator. A lot of fun, cheaper than taking, 2 or 3 boxes of ammunition and going to the range and shooting paper, which, by the way, is important, but not nearly as fun as getting on the simulator. Just come to us. We'll show you about the simulator. What else can I say? I went to a seminar a long time ago, and June Reed, the grandfather of Taekwondo, American Taekwondo, was there giving a seminar. And I saw this guy, and I think he was well in his 70s, maybe even 80 years old. The guy could still do a full split, and he started his talk by doing 100 push-ups. And he's a skinny Asian fella, just, I was blown away. I was like, man, I hope I'm that fit when I'm his age. Think about that. I was a younger man admiring an 80-year-old man that his flexibility and his physical strength was still good. Some people think that's impossible to do. But again, Jun Rhee, this guy did Taekwondo forever. And I'm not even a Taekwondo guy. I still knew who he was. He's famous. I still knew what his capabilities are. I could see them, and I'd seen him on YouTube, and he just was a really neat guy to meet. If you make it into your 70s or 80s, it's a choice whether you are going to say, I can't do it, or whether you're going to say, I'm going to try it. Come see, come try. Guys, my name is Curtis Robinson. Again, I'm the owner of ConwayToe2Toe and Toe-to-Toe Firearms and Training. Come train with me at 807 Bill Dean Drive in Conway, Arkansas. You can find me on YouTube. I've got about 600 kickboxing videos in the Conway Toe-to-Toe Kickboxing Essentials YouTube channel. I've got about 600 jiu-jitsu videos on the Conway Toe-to-Toe Jiu-Jitsu channel. I got another 200 or 300 videos of stick and knife fighting and firearms training on our firearms page, Conway Toe-to-Toe Firearms and Training. I'm out there. You can get to me. By the way, if you want to call me, my phone is open to you, and I really do answer the phone. It's 501-515-4788. I want to help people, so come, bring your family in, let's train. Last but not least, this is YouTube. I'm live on YouTube today. Please subscribe. That's so important to me. It helps me a lot when you do that. It is a very simple thing that I ask you to do to enjoy any of the free videos that we have out there. But then click the notifications bell, that little brass bell. That is so that you get my notification. I uploaded something new. If you like what I'm doing, what I'm saying, for goodness sakes, just go ahead and ring the notifications bell. And then leave me a comment. I like reading your comments, and I'm willing to do more videos based on what you would like to see. And I've fulfilled a lot of requests. People want to see throws or kicks, or they want to see training videos. I put them on there. Take care. God bless. We'll see you later.